Nvidia stock is flying higher after an incredible earnings call. That and much more happened this past week, including Jerome Powell, the debt ceiling talks. There's so much to go over. Let's get right into the thick of it. My name's Gav Blacksburg from Wolf Financial. I'm here with Evan from Stock Market News. Evan, walk us through some of the major stories that happened this week.
Yeah, so we want to make sure everyone is informed with what is happening. And first and foremost, the biggest news story over the last couple of days has been Nvidia earnings. They came out with a beat on EPS and a beat on revenue expectations. You can see here, but this is not where the full story was. It was on the forward guidance, which came in above what analysts were expecting. Analysts were expecting in the $7 billion range, and they came out and said $11 billion. And you could see kind of how the last quarters have been going. It's been in between that range of 6, so slightly below that at points, and up to 8, slightly above that. But $11 billion is very, very far out of that range. And on the next slide, you can kind of see them talking about it. This is not a one-time thing. They expect the second half of the year to be equally as strong, if not stronger. There was commentary on the call that, as it says here, we expect it to be substantially larger, but they were saying that they expect the second half of the year to be better than the first half of the year. And just some quick math, $7 billion plus $11 billion guide over 2 quarters is $18 billion. So they're telling us we're going to get at least $9 billion of revenue over each quarter in the second half of the year, which is still significant acceleration. So it's not a 1 quarter thing. Maybe it is a 2-3 quarter thing and it's pulling forward long term, but we will have to see. Jensen Huang doesn't seem to think so. He thinks we're at the start of a 10-year cycle. They're talking about $1 trillion worth of data center chips that need to be upgraded to these new AI level chips and advanced computing areas. And it really does lead us into this next area. How many times they said the word AI? It definitely is the keyword. They said it 105 times. That is more than they said it last quarter, more than any other company, any other large significant name, and it boosted the stock price. So this is the only time we're ever going to do this. But I am going to say AI 105 times. We're going to see if we can get more views on this video. So starting here, Wolf, make sure you're counting. I don't miss any, but AI, 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 AI. I'm struggling a little. I'm at 50, I think, though.
Uh,
AI, what?
I,
AI,
I think executive
AI,
decision to cut here.
AI, 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 AI. I lost count. I believe I'm at 75 or 65 right now, so I will stop. But let's see if it boosts the numbers. Shout out to that. If anyone makes it past this point, we love you. Next slide, though. No longer are we talking about 10 baggers over 10 years. We are talking about 100x. Nvidia stock, it has 100x over the last 10 years. This was a graph I saw from Bespoke. Shout out to Tesla and AMD, and Apple's right below. Cut it off so you guys can see it a little bit better. But this is pretty fascinating, just the level of return. And then if you go to the next slide as well, and how historic of a day and a move yesterday was. It says today, but it says yesterday was the third largest move market cap wise for US stock in the history. Obviously, the larger companies get, the more this is going to happen, but still slotting in there in third place, very, very close to $1 trillion market cap. Let me double check how close we are right now as of making this video on 1:45 p.m. Eastern on Friday. Right now, we are trading around $960 billion market cap. So getting very, very close to that $1 trillion valuation. Shout out to Nvidia for doing that. And short sellers, definitely do beware. We did hear that some short sellers were receiving something in the mail. If you want to go over on the next slide, so we don't know what it is, but I just want to tell everyone to say no. It is, I think, what we've learned from this stuff. But there was a lot of other interesting stories from the week, specifically around the debt ceiling conversations. This is a very, very ongoing situation. So by the time you see this, it could be over. The most recent stuff that I found to be pretty interesting. First of all, Fitch saying that if we didn't get a deal passed, they would be lowering the U.S. credit rating. We're kind of getting close to that 2011 environment. A lot of people do put more credence into Moody's, so we'll wait and see. what they have to say. But in general, the conversations were getting a lot better over the last day or so. We had Biden coming out and saying that they put forward a proposal to freeze spending for 2 years, which is a very large concession in there. And the market really took this on Thursday once this came out, as we are getting very close. There was a couple other stuff. We did have McCarthy coming out and saying June 1st is the deadline that he sees, which is pretty fascinating. So overall, this is definitely going to be coming to a head in the next couple of days, I feel like. Moving over to Jerome Powell and the Fed, their preferred inflation index came out today. PCE came in hotter than expected on the year-over-year print. The first time it has accelerated in a couple months. I believe it was like 4.1 or 4.2% year-over-year last month, and now we're at 4.4% above the median estimate of 3.9. The month-over-month number was plus 0.4%, in line with expectations. So that's what that plus 0.4% is. And I do want to remind people, I was just seeing up there, shout out to the software we're using, but make sure you're going to like and comment on the video if you were enjoying it. Make sure you're subscribed to our channels if you want to see more like this. Myself and Wolf, we're trying to put more of a focus on YouTube going forward. So we hope you do enjoy these videos. And I'm putting some stuff together on the back end to get some really smart people to start putting out some really educational content on here. I think there's some really good series that I have in the work coming, so should be excited for that. All right, moving on to some of the more stock specific stuff. This is only some things over the last 48 hours, 24 hours or so. We did have a Twitter Spaces last night between Ford CEO Jim Farley and Tesla CEO Elon Musk. The big announcement out of that one was that Ford will be starting to use Tesla's supercharger network. They will be available 12,000 superchargers. They announced that they're making a connector. They announced that an adapter, should I say, and just overall, Ford will be utilizing Tesla's supercharger network. It was a pretty interesting conversation between both of them. Elon was kind of talking about how he wants to start sharing more software possibly. So we'll see more integrations coming forward, but I thought that one was pretty interesting. On this whole AI theme, maybe I got to say it another 100 times. We'll see. I'm getting a little feedback, but yeah, JPMorgan is developing its own chat GBT like AI software service to select investments for customers. So JPMorgan is just going to be using AI to put us into stocks, which is pretty fascinating. Wolf, you have any thoughts on this one? They also trademarked the name Index GBT. You have any thoughts on that name?
Yeah, hopefully, the AI will be attracted to ticker symbol chat. I think that that's probably a natural connection that can happen here, and it'll start buying up the AI names. That's what I think is going to happen. As it becomes slightly more sentient, it's going to buy all the AI stocks and put them in people's portfolios. That way, everyone becomes very bullish on the AI features and they continue to use it. Just a hypothesis.
Or the AI starts to own, like the AI starts buying the AI stocks and becomes the owner. It's just a self cycle where AI ends up on top. Wow, maybe this is the start of iRobot or something like that. Wow, crazy times. Shout out to JP Morgan's part in it. If you go over to the next slide, though, we do have a little graphic for another major earnings this week, Costco. A lot of people do love it, and I really do like this infograph. Really quickly, though, their EPS was a miss on expectations, $2.93, missing expectations of $3.31. Revenue of 52.6 billion, missing expectations of 54.6 billion. So both top and bottom line missing expectations. They also, it's a cardinal sin in this market, as we were kind of talking there. They said zero mentions of AI on the earnings release. So maybe they're just a real company. Well, there are some areas that make sense for them in the long term to get into it, but yeah, nothing about that, and also nothing about the Costco hot dog combo changing in price. The index, that inflation index, is staying strong at $1.50. So shout out to that. The final story that I saw last night that was pretty interesting is Elon Musk's brain chip startup Neuralink has been approved for its first in-human clinical study. That's pretty fascinating. I know there were some conversations around them doing it in animals. I don't even know how those effects really went, but they got approval to test it in humans. So this is something that's interesting. Recruitment hasn't started, and we'll get more information in the future. But yeah, something I was interested in, altered carbon-esque for anyone who knows that. But some of my thoughts and my biggest stories from the day and week. If you did enjoy this video, if you want us to do more stuff like this, definitely let us know. I spent all day, every day looking for the news, and it's not too difficult for me to come together and say, here's the 10 biggest stories I saw for the week, and make sure everybody is kept up to date. So definitely let me know if that's something you want. Make sure you are subscribed to our channels. I appreciate Wolf for doing this video with me and helping me with all the back end stuff too on it. So shout out to that. Wolf, anything you want to add on here?
That's all for us today. It was a pretty eventful week. The Nasdaq's now up over 20% on the year. So let's see if this market can continue chugging forward, and stay tuned with our Twitter Spaces this week as we discuss the outcome of this debt ceiling negotiation. I think that's everything. We're good to end it here, Evan?
Yep. Have a good one, everyone. Appreciate you.
Take care, everybody.